HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Weekend. I'm LaDawn Davis. Thanks so much for joining us. News from the crime beat tops our news this Sunday. The murder count climbed by 2 as police started Palm Sunday investigating a double murder in Nassau Village overnight. As Altavi's Munnings tells us, police are making a strong appeal for any information on this case.
Police got the call sometime around 9 o'clock Saturday night about gunshots heard on Price Street in Nassau Village. When they arrived on the scene, they discovered 2 men suffering from gunshot wounds about the body. Officer in charge of the Central Detective Unit, Superintendent Paul Roll, told reporters on the scene that one of the men appeared lifeless while the other was gasping for breath. Both men, though, were pronounced dead on the scene.
Both of the men at the time were still alive. We summoned EMS. By the time EMS arrived, they had pronounced them dead. They were in critical condition at the time. As much as we know is that they were standing in the front of a wall, and persons came by, accosted them, and shot several shots in their direction. Both men ran in 2 different directions where they collapsed a short distance away, and where we find their bodies a few minutes ago.
On Sunday, in a telephone interview with ZNS News, Mr. Rowe confirmed that one of the victims arrived at his Price Street home with a female in his car to retrieve something. Upon returning to the car, police say a man dressed in camouflage attire and a hooded jacket reportedly produced what they believe to be a handgun and started firing shots in the victim's direction. Superintendent Roll then explained that the suspect then reportedly fired shots at another man who was standing near the vehicle. That victim ran from the scene but fell a short distance away. Police say the suspect reportedly fled the area north on Price Street, where he observed another man who police believe was allegedly calling them when the suspect tried to shoot at him. But that man was able to flee. Detectives say the suspect then made good his escape.
We have not found any fired cartridges. We met when officers arrived on the scene. Like I said, there were about 200 persons on the scene, rummaging through the scene. And so they interfered completely with the scene. And what we're saying is we now need them to come and help us to solve this murder.
Altavi's Munnings for the ZNS News Network.
Meanwhile, police were called to the scene of a vehicle fire around 6:20 this morning on Lily of the Valley corner off East Street. Authorities report that a Ford SUV was on fire. Firefighters extinguished the blaze and discovered a body burnt beyond recognition. An active police investigation continues. Meanwhile, a 14-year-old boy was treated and discharged from hospital after being shot to the leg around 9:30 yesterday morning. Preliminary reports indicate that the teen was in the Camp Road area when he was reportedly approached and shot by the occupants of a Champagne Honda Accord. Police are appealing to residents who may have any information regarding this incident to contact them immediately. Quick action from the Defense Force Marines resulted in the capture of an alleged stolen vessel early this morning. Defense Force Harbor Patrol Unit Marines learned about the alleged stolen 32-foot cabin cruiser named Carolyn around 8:30 this morning that they found attached to a wrecker being hauled out of the water in the Montague area. Defense Force officials confirmed that the wrecker driver attempted to escape when they arrived on the scene. However, a chase ensued and Defense Force Marines later apprehended the vessel in the Village Road area. The boat was placed in the middle of Village Road near the roundabout for several minutes before police arrived. It was later moved in a parking lot for further processing. An active police investigation continues. The Constitutional Commission continues to get the views of the members of the community as they push towards reform. While many of the recommendations are the same, some have differed when it comes to issues like citizenship. Among those addressing the commission this past Friday at the British Colonial Hilton Hotel was President of the United Association of Haitian and Bahamians in the Bahamas, Dr. Anton St. Louis.
What we are looking now presently, as the Constitution states, at the age of 18, whether they're born to legal parents or illegal parents, they will be entitled to citizenship. And if we allow, by the time they reach 18, they apply, and sometimes it takes 2, 5, 6, 10 years. And at the age, just at the age of 26, a child receives citizenship to become a Bahamian citizen. That child will not be productive enough to contribute to the growth and development of the Bahamas.
Meantime, Bishop Franklin Ferguson of the Church of God of Prophecy shared his views on the citizenship issue, while Reverend Patrick Paul of the Assemblies of God focused on economic empowerment and called for a sovereign trust fund.
There must be some revision of the immigration laws, which would assist the department to deal with illegal immigration on a more organized basis. For example, all persons are to enter the country on a contract basis when employers apply for a work permit.
We propose that the government consider ways to create additional streams of revenue to establish such fund. For an example, foreign investors desiring to do business in our country, including foreign banks, those who traversed our waters or traveled through our airspace, should be made to make payment into a sovereign fund.
Well, as the Constitution Commission gathers public feedback on reforming the commission, 5 of the remaining framers of the Constitution believe all Bahamians must first have a solid understanding and appreciation of the historic document. Today, the remaining framers got the opportunity to share what was on their mind during that historic 1972 Constitutional Conference in London and explain the importance of certain provisions. Charisma Robinson has the story.
If anybody who could force their way in here and stay long enough, and then we say they entitled to citizenship, we must be joking. First of all, you have no respect for me. You decide to break my law, to come into my country, and then you want me to be, as they call it, humane.
That was former immigration minister and framer of the Bahamas Constitution, A. Loftus Roker, who also voiced his position Sunday on the debate regarding the gender bias of Bahamian women and their citizenship rights. He says that's something he agreed to at the time when women took the domicile of the husband and the children of their father.
We must be careful with amending this Constitution because until you are satisfied you understand what you have, you do not know where you're going.
Former Governor General Arthur Hanna agreed.
We have a democracy. There are many things you cannot do that I've seen put forward. Too many of us don't understand the system under which we are. If you think back of the fundamental rights, what you going to amend there?
His Excellency Governor General Sir Arthur Folkes, former Governors General Arthur Hanna and Sir Orville Turnquest, A. Loftus Roker and George Smith are 5 out of the 6 remaining fathers of our nation who are honored Sunday during National Constitution Day at Bahamas Faith Ministries. It's the vision of Senior Pastor Dr. Miles Monroe to honor these distinguished Bahamians who framed our independence. He's a strong advocate for public involvement in the current discussions on Constitution amendments.
As we celebrate this Constitutional Day with our fathers who have changed us in the last hour, the principal purpose for them being here is to remind us that the law is to establish and maintain order in a country.
As requested by the Constitutional Reform Commission, a constitutional referendum will take place sometime in November. Charisma Robinson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Charisma. Hear more from the framers of the Constitution on the Privy Council and the Senate later on in the week. And we have more on that Cuban apprehension by Defense Force officers yesterday. That story and more coming up.